Hi there, welcome to Backyard Bonsai and Blooms. Today we're going to look at this small portulacaria afra tree. It's planted in this rock planter, and I potted it up earlier this year and I made a video on it. I'll try to link that up here in the corner at the end of the video. You know, that box shows up. If you want to watch that, that'll be there. But today it just needs a quick maintenance prune. Nothing too drastic, just kind of clean it up a little bit. Because this is one that I want to keep pruned. Just make sure I don't get the taper out of whack, you know, letting some of these shoots get too long on top. Some of these have actually gotten pretty long just in a few weeks since I pruned it last. But like I said, today is going to be a fairly short video. We're just going to prune this up and get it back into shape. And like I usually do, I just start out with a quick profile prune. Just take the long shoots back, and then I'll go back to it and look at it a little more detail to see what else it needs. First stage I get it to is what I call this little fluffy stage, to where you can kind of see the shape of the tree, but it still has some of these shoots. Just makes it look a little fluffy, as opposed to like a tighter look, you know, where everything's more refined and not so fluffy looking. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. It's past the fluffy pruned where I've just kind of got it back to profile. So now I'm going to go back and kind of look at each one. And then if I do decide that something needs to go back at this stage, I'll, like this one here, I'll just take it back to the next internode and just kind of continue looking at it. Like this one here, can go back to the next one. But already it's looking much better, but still need to go back a little bit more. Because if you leave them in that fluffy stage, what's going to happen over time, your tree is just going to get bigger and bigger on you, which if that's what you want, that's great. But this one I want to keep pretty well size controlled as much as I can while it's in this pot. Eventually, you know, a couple years down the road, it's probably going to outgrow this pot, whether I want it to or not. It just will, because they're trees. They'll continue to grow. You can slow them down, but eventually they're just you're gonna lose the battle, and they're gonna outgrow their pot. And then we'll put him in something a little bigger and keep it going. And it's amazing. I always, you know, look at my trees when I bring them in. I get to spin them around, but they're sitting out on my bench, positioned. There's a fence behind it, so they really start getting sun, you know, late morning, almost noontime, and it hits the trees about here. Like this was the sun that kind of hits them here, and then it continues over and then starts setting and hits them straight on. So all my trees develop more growth on one side. You can see this one's kind of, all the branches are like fingers, you know, pointing towards the sun. So when I prune it, every few weeks or so, I'll set it back out on the bench. And then this side is the back, which I'll move towards the sun, and it'll kind of balance that out a little bit. See, I've got some yellow leaves under here, which, you know, if you just have a couple, that's not too alarming. They'll just shed leaves every so often, especially the interior ones, because especially when they're growing vigorous and they'll get these taller shoots, the tree senses that it doesn't need those interior leaves anymore, because the sun's not hitting them as much. So it'll shed those and put energy in trying to grow new ones. out on the tips. So these interior ones, you know, if you can't get it pruned back enough to kind of open it up, you're just going to lose some of those interior leaves. But that's why I try to keep it pruned and thinned out a little bit, just to so that doesn't happen, because you're just going to end up with a bunch of growth out on the tips, and then your interior is going to be bare. So I think we're, like I said, it's going to be a short video today, and I think we're just about to the finish line today anyway. A couple more. But yeah, this has definitely got the shape I'm looking for. Just a nice rounded dome canopy. You can still see the trunk and some branch structure up into there. It's looking really good. And really, you know, either side could be front, but I like this one as the front because this branch here does kind of shoot off towards the back a little bit. But that looks like a good front too, so either one. But I do have it designed as this is the front here, just because that branch does kind of go towards the back, and then it even, the main goes towards the back, and then this one even shoots farther towards the back. But like I said, it can go either way. Yeah, I think that's going to be just about it. I don't see anything else going on. Usually I take this time to inspect it close to see if there's any bugs or, you know, anything else that I need to be worried about. Especially when I see the yellow leaves, I just want to investigate a little bit more just to make sure. And if I were to see any bugs, I would use insecticidal soap or something like that, you know, just to spray it down, and then let that kind of dry and rinse off, and then set it back out on the bench. But I think we're looking pretty good today. I don't see any bugs or anything, so I think it's just a light issue which is causing those yellow leaves, which isn't a big deal. So I think that's going to do it. Let me give you a quick spin around. There's the front, there's the left side, there's the back, right side, and back to the front. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.